Okay, so now we are again going to move ahead to the next program, that is on using Python as a calculator. So type null to arrow calc.py. I've got a calc. So now it's simple. What you have to do is that print. You might have learned this probably when you're born. Born in the sense since the very start. So I'll write print 1 plus 1. So, and again we'll keep revising the comments. This prints 2. I'll write print 5 into 4. And basically the proper syntax, you can also do it like this, but the proper way is that you need to keep spacing over here. That's the proper syntax of this. So I'll just write we expect 20 over here, then print 9 for example divided by 5. So we should get 1.9, sorry 1.8. Then we'll write print 100 minus 200. You might be knowing this, but don't skip this part. There's an important part coming. So it will give minus 100. So now we just first cross check it. Let's see, it's 220, 1.8 minus 100. Great. So these all parts are matching. I'll just again comment these out. Okay. So now there are a few more different operators over here. Basically plus minus all are operators. So now if I write 100 percentage 3. So don't expect that this will give the percentage of 100 out of 3. That's 100 upon 3 into 100. No. Over here what will happen is that, you remember long division? We should divide, like you should in the earlier classes. You should divide 100 by 3. There used to be a quotient and there used to be a remainder. So this prints a remainder. So over here if you divide 100 by 3, you will get 99 as a quotient and 1 as a remainder. So this prints remainder. It's like that. So this should print 1, that's the remainder. So yes, we have got 1 over here. And if I'll take it up to a big complex over here, if I say 1 plus 6 into 7 divided by 9. Okay, let me take it a little simple. Divided by 10. Yes. So this follows board mass. Sorry, this follows board mass. So 6 times 42 by 10 is 4.2. So we should get 5.2 as the output. Let's see. Yes, we have got 5.2 as the output. So it proves that this follows board mass. And if I put a bracket over here, so now we should get the output as 4.9. So 4.9. Let's see. There we go. So this is basically the calculator, but there's one more thing. Just a second. Yeah. Now there's something known as print 5 divided by 2, double divide by. So what this will do is that it will divide it by 2 and print the rounded off quotient. So over here, if I run it, so now I will write print 5 divided by 2. So this prints the quotient. So here the quotient is 2. So I'll run it. We got 2. So now there's one more thing, the last thing, that's exponents. Something raised to something. It's like 1 raised to some big number, we'll get 1, you know that. So give 1, and sorry, this is multiplied. Double multiplied will give raised to. Print 2 double multiply 3. So this should give us 8. Let's see. 238 218. Sorry, my bad. 218 218. So that's good. So now we are done with the calculator. Now let's move on to the next part, that is data types in Python. We'll just cover some basic data types over here. Okay, so I'll just create a new file. Sorry, my bad. So data types are py, UHS. So basically we'll just cover some few basic data types that are required for now. So I'll just write comments over here. I'll say the main data types are integers, then floats, booleans, strings. These are the four basic data types which you will deal many of the times, and you need to know this. So it's like that. First I'll just write the symbol. Sorry. So integer is represented by int. So I'll just write like this. Float is float. Boolean is bol as far as I remember, and may have mistaken over here. And string is str, because boolean normally you don't convert it as a data type, so it's like that. So now what are integers? You know, all numbers -1, then like 520, all numbers that do not contain decimal points are integers. It's as simple as that. What are floats? All numbers that contain decimal points are floats. So it's like 1.0, 5.23, 2.236, 1.414. Basically all these are floats, but there's a 3.14 and all. So these all are floats, and the main data type is called float. Then integer is int, normally it's said as int, and boolean. So this has got true or false. So anything that has an answer of true or false is known as boolean. Just like, is it running? Answer is true or false. So all these are booleans, basically true or false again. Now strings. Anything that is written in inverted comma is called a string. Whether this, or I would say this, or I will say even this is a string, even this is a string. Sorry. And even this is a string. All these are strings, means anything that's inverted are strings, or basically all words and sentences are strings. That's basically string. So I'll just quickly brief it up. If you want to like ask the computer, ask basically Python, that give me the data type of this. So if I write print type of 1, so basically it will print the data type of 1. I'll just do it for different things like 1.0, 2, then true, then I'll say 1 plus 1, and I'll say 1 plus 1. I hope I did not miss any. I'll just run this. So see, 1, as we know, it's int. Yeah, it was bool only, I had forgotten it. Then this is a float. In some languages it is also known as double. Float and double are two, but here everything is a float. Then true is a boolean. This is a string, 1 plus 1, and 1 plus 1, of course, as you know, this gives a value. Inverted commas, anything in inverted commas does not give a value, but this has got a value, that's 2, and 2 is an integer. And if I would have written 1 plus 1.23, we would have got a float over here. as it's a float. It's no more integer. So it's like that, simple as that. These are the basic data types of Python. Now we can move ahead. Okay, so now we go to the next part, that is the variables. Knowing the basic variables. Just a second. Sorry. Type null var.py. Sorry, I forgot again. Equal to arrow var.py. So now we have got this. I'm just trying the different methods to create the file so that you get used to both of them, as both are important. Now one more important thing before I go, like we had this file of 1 so I'll just quickly open it, and it prints hello world and hi. Now if you double click on it, it will basically create a black screen, it will print it and it will get destroyed. It's like that. So if you like just it won't come, it's very fast. So it's like that. But if you just go to command prompt and here you write python 1.py, so that file will get executed over here. So basically what we've done is here we have told Python to run the file 1.py. Now for example, this data types, this prints all this. So if I say python data underscore types.py, so it will give the output of that. It's like that. So you can even run it over here, and you should know this method also. Now if I'll just try the emoji, if it works by chance, emoji.py, it did work but it did not recognize over here. So it's like that. Now let's continue with this variables. So basically what are variables? Anything with or without a value is called a variable. Like I'll say name equal to path, then channel name equal to toolkit. Then for example I'll say programming language equal to, let's say, Python. So basically I've created a variable known as name and I've given it a value of path. Then similarly a channel name which I've given a value of toolkit, and programming language which I've given a name of Python. Now I'll say any favorite number. So I'll say for example just a random number, it's nothing favorite like that. So it's like this, and writing in this type is known as snake case writing, and this is known as camel case writing. The reason being it's nothing big, basically because you have used underscore underscore like channel name of you. So basically it's just a method of writing. So you have written underscore underscore, it's basically like snake case, and here if I just write off, basically every new word is with a capital, so it's like camel case with humps. It's like that. Now I'll say print name, print, I don't type everything again, I'll just do it quickly. Yes, so now I'll just quickly run it. F5 is the shortcut as I told you. So basically assign the values and I got the, and I told I print the thing which this variable, print the values which this variable has got. Now favorite number has got an integer, others had got string. So the type, if I print type of these, type of name, that's a data type as we had discussed recently, and type of this, I'll run it. So we'll get class is string, then toolkit, Python, and integer. So Even the variables has got the value, and the value is of course a data type. And I could have written, like for example, new variable sleeping equal to false. So currently I'm not sleeping, so I'll basically print sleeping and also print the type of sleeping. I'll just run this. So I got false, that I'm not sleeping, and it's boolean data type. So basically that's with the variables. Now we'll go to the concatenation part. That's playing with strings. String1.py. Okay, so basically I'll say channel name first part red tool, and again I'll create a new variable second part equal to t. So now if I want to print it together, what does I write? Simple, print channel name first plus an empty space, of course I'll require that, and plus channel name second. So I'll just run this, and we have got our output. That's perfect output. And if I write over here plus space plus channel name third, so we'll get run. I'll just run it. We'll get an error because I have not defined channel name third. It's like that. So if I just define it, for example, just like this, so we'll get the complete thing. It's like that. Now I'll just again comment this out. Now we'll do one more thing. I'll say a is equals to 1, b is equals to 2, and I'll say print a plus b. That's how I want to print 12. So I want to print 12, so I'll just write print a plus b. But it is giving 3 because a and b are integers. They are not strings. Only strings can be added. Or I'll just simply write string sum. Sorry, it's giving a sum, right? A plus b is 3. So I'll just write print sum plus this. Now I'll run it. So see, you also need to know to learn these errors. Like learn, I mean understand these errors. So it's basically a type error. Basically, you know that a and b are integer, and we can only concatenate or basically attach strings. So here that's the error. Can concatenate strings, not integers to string. So we need to do something about that. So I'll just write str. I'll explain you about it over here and then run it. So we have got sum 3. Now what did I do over here? A plus b is an integer, but I wrote it in str, which means it got converted into a string. So to explain it in detail, I'll just write this print c is equal to first a plus b. So assign c a value, right? Now d is equals to c, and e is equals to string c. Sorry, string c. So now I'll print d. I'll print the type of d. That's the data type. Similarly, I'll do it with e. I'll print e and its type. I'll just run it. So see, first 3 is the integer and the next 3 is the string. That's the difference. So E has got the value of C but got converted into a string, whereas D has got the integer value of C. So as we did this, we could have also converted this into, instead I would say A is this, B is this, C is equals to A plus B, and if I want to print the sum, I'll write print C. Simply, this is giving 12. What happened over here? 1 and 2 are two strings which got joined, and it gave us output of 1, 2, that's 12. But we were expecting output of the sum. So what can we do? It's simple. We'll write C int of this and also int of this. So basically converted it to an integer. So now we have got our desired output. Now if this was 1.9 and 2.1, so you know the output is 4. I'll just run it. Yes, this is an error. The reason being 1.9 and 2.1 are not integers. They are floats, which are in a string. 1.9 is a float. The inverted comma 1.9 is a string. So first what I'll do is that I'll convert this into a float. Since its data type is a float, the value inside is a float. I'll first run this. We have got our answer 4.0. Now what if I want to remove this 0.0? So let C is equals to int C. That is, the new value of C is the integral value of the old value of C basically. So just forget this for now, this part, and just imagine that int C. What will int C give me as an output? If I put in 4.0, I'll get as an output 4, right? And now I told I need to assign a variable a value 4, and I can do it again to the C only. I told C was 4.0. Now C, you become 4, just like that. So now if I run it, I've got the value of 4. It's like that. And if I would have just written string, I would have got it 4.0, but the data type of this is now a string. As you know, we convert it into a string. Now if I have written a boolean, it's true because anything other than 0 is true. So if I just write this as 0, 0, I'll just write an integer, otherwise the value will be 0.0. I'll run it, it's false because 0, actually in binary it's all zeros and ones. That is, 0 goes for false and 1 goes for true. It's like that. So this is a simple string manipulation which we have done just now, and you learned how to convert one data type into the other. So now we are going to go to the next part, that is user inputs. So we are now going to work on inputs taken by users. So I am taking a variable like name is equal to input, and I'll write here write your name, and now I'll just say print name. I'll simply run it. So it's asking write your name. Now if I write path, that is I'm assigning a value to my variable. So I just hit enter and I've got my output. So basically whatever I inputted got stored in this variable and got printed out. So it's like that. Now if I say number equals to same thing, number, separate number. Also we have learned string manipulation. Concatenation is also manipulating strings. So I'll write here your name is Now plus, you know why I put that, because both are strings, so they'll get joined. So I'll write my name Parth, and it got your name is Parth and a number 9, so it printed out 9. But now this number is a string. The command of input always takes a string input. So to work it as an integer, float, or boolean, you need to first convert it into your desired data type. So if I want to say the inverted commas, the double of your number is, I can write here, and then I'll write plus, I will say integer, or let me keep plus float, because I can even enter a decimal of my number. See, if I write the input as 1 and I convert it to float, it's not an issue, because 1.0 and 1 over here has the same value. I know it makes a difference in the precise, but over here basically in common terms 1.0 and 1 has the same value. So I'll write float number into 2 and I'll run it, because now I've got the value. So I'll write my name Parth, I'll write a number 8, and it will give an error. Why did this error came? We converted the number into float. 8 into float is 8.0, and now I multiplied by 2, so I should get your number is 16. But read the error. Can only concatenate string, not float. So the data type of this is a float, and we cannot concatenate float. So what I'll do is that I'll write string of this entire part. So basically this entire part is a bracket which will get converted into a string. Now I'll run it. So I name parts and number like 80, so keep 10. So it's 20 and it's 20.0. If I want to again get the integral value of this, so let's write first convert into integer, then we take the string value of it. So for now I'll just write something randomly. So I got my required value. It's like that. And this is the way you take input from user. Now there's another interesting thing. I'll currently just hide this. Now I'll say name comma channel equal to path comma toolkit. So what is this saying? I've initialized two variables. Initialized means given the value of two variables at one go. So like as we did in the previous one, we gave a some value, b some value. But here I wrote a comma b is this comma this, means a is this and b is this. So name is path and channel is toolkit. So that's how we have given the values. So now if I'll just print the name and I want to print the channel in a new line. So what I'll do is that, you remember, escape sequences plus channel. I'll run it now. So I've got the required output, and that's another way. Also I can input, like I'll say name comma some number equals to input, write your name and number. So like now I'll run it. So I'll just write path and 5. So it gave an error. But you ask why? I wrote two things. Because path space 5 is one string. It has not been split into two different strings. So for that I'll write split. I'll just give the command of split, and then I'll again just print this name plus \n plus number. Now I'll run it. So I'll write part space 5. So I got this output. I'll just make this a bit neat. Yeah. So what did it do? It recognized the space and it splitted it. But now I'll write part, and for example 1 2 3 4 5 6. It is not splitting because, or simply I'll just run it once again. I'll write path comma 1 2 3. It's again not splitting. Why? But I've given some split because by default it is defined to split with the space. Now I'll define it to split with a comma. So where there's comma, it will split. So I'll write path comma 1 2 3 4 5 6. So it has split into two different on basis of the comma. And here this is also a string. If you want to confirm, you can always do that. Whenever you're not sure, it's better to confirm. Sorry, my bad. Just a second, there's some error over here. Can only concatenate, yes. No. Huh. The reason being, okay, so we have got an error over here. That's again a type error because type is also one type of a data type. The output of type is not a string. So I first have to convert it to a string. Now if I try to run it, I should expect an output like p comma 5. So yes, the 5 is a string because whatever input is a string. So now I'll just take it an integer of my number. So now the number is an integer but it is getting printed as a string. Yeah, this is again a mistake because I wrote 0.2 not comma. I defined it to do with the comma. So I said p comma 4. Yes, so that's done. I would like to give you a quick exercise over here, just a simple one. Okay, so now the question is that take an input from user. So take a small input like full stop, comma, question mark, slash, a single. That's basically on the user, but take an input from the user. Take another input from user and split it on the basis of the previous input, then print out the each splitted input and split it into three parts. So basically it will be like, for example, in the earlier case, part space 5 space 100, for example. So now you have to split it into 3 and you have to print its values of the 3 splitted output. Just give it a try. It's slight tricky, but you may be able to do it. Just pause the video and try it. Okay, so let me tell you the solution. So basically I'll assign 3 variables a, b, c, for example. You can give it any name. I'll take it as input. First I'll just say splitter. I'll take it as an input. Enter the string splitter. So as I told you, take an input from the user which will use to determine the split. Now I'll say 3 variables a, b, c equals to again input enter three strings separated by, now I have to tell him that you have to separate it by this. So plus, now I'll again write in inverted commas, I'll put double quotes, I'll again put a double quotes, I'll close them in between. I'll just explain what happened over here. And splitter, so this is just basically creating, like, so I told you enter three strings splitted by, then this, these two are outer single quotes which are used to write strings, and this will give a double inverted, then the splitter, that is our word, this whatever is inputted, and then again similarly a double inverted, and then I'll just write plus space this, so like enter a string dot split with our splitter, then print out the each splitter. So print A, print B, and I'll print C. I'll run it. So I'll import a splitter, for example exclamation mark. One second, I think I made a mistake. I'll have to do it again. I'll tell you the mistake. Enter splitter exclamation mark. Yes, because I enter space here also. That was the mistake. So now why did this happen? Okay, I put forward slash instead of backslash. So that's the reason escape sequence did not work. So I'll again do that. Enter the splitter this. Yes, and split it by this. So I'll write path each so I've got the output which is splitted by that. Now I'll just try again with some different splitter. So now I'll enter the splitter tool. So part tool kit. So think what should be the output. It should be path kit kit. There you go. Because tool was the splitter. It's like that. I'll just do one more run so it's very clear. Now I'll use the splitter to be star. So path star tool star kit. So split it with the star. As simple as that. So this was the second exercise. If you would like to get these Python files, the GitHub link is there in the video description. Don't forget to check it out, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this video. See you in the next video. Bye.